الله أكبر الله أكبر.
السلام عليكم.
الله أكبر. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. إن الحمد لله نحمده سبحانه ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، له الملك وله الحمد يحيي ويميت وهو على كل شيء قدير. اللهم اقسم لنا من خشيتك ما تحول به بيننا وبين معصيتك، ومن طاعتك ما تبلغنا به جنتك، ومن اليقين ما تهون به علينا مصائب الدنيا. ومتعنا اللهم بأسماعنا وأبصارنا وقواتنا ما أحييتنا، واجعله الوارث منا، واجعل ثأرنا على من ظلمنا، وانصرنا اللهم على من عادانا. اللهم ولا تجعل مصيبتنا في ديننا، ولا تجعل الدنيا أكبر همنا ولا مبلغ علمنا، ولا تسلط علينا بذنوبنا من لا يخافك ولا يرحمنا يا رب العالمين. أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم إن زلزلة الساعة شيء عظيم. يوم ترونها تذهل كل مرضعة عما أرضعت، وتضع كل ذات حمل حملها، وترى الناس سكارى وما هم بسكارى ولكن عذاب الله شديد. وأصلي وأسلم على المبعوث رحمة للعالمين سيدنا محمد بن عبد الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه وعنا معهم إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد، In the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most compassionate and most merciful, all praise and thanks are due to him, and peace and blessings be upon his beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He who is guided by the will of Allah, no one can misguide him. And he who is misguided, no one can guide him except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We do bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his messenger. Respected brothers and sisters in Islam, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The importance of the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in our lives in light of what happens to our oppressed brothers in Gaza and Palestine and everywhere where Muslims are oppressed. In the context of understanding, reflecting, acting upon, reacting, thinking, doing something, whatever. What is the importance of the existence of Allah in our life? This is the academic philosophical title. If I want to use our Islamic terminology, to what degree we are in need for Allah. To what degree our genuine faith should be activated and reactivated in light of what we are witnessing. Now, in my introduction, I want just to bring your attention to something. Every one of us knows it. Since many months, we are witnessing a genocide. We are witnessing ethnic cleansing. We are witnessing, by the way, unlike any other similar thing in the history of humanity. Why? Because it's witnessed live. Maybe the Mughals did something more. Maybe the Crusaders did something more. But people used to narrate. Now we are an eyewitness. This is horrible. An eyewitness with all the power, the technology, the media. The majority of us, we are unable to do anything. At least, people like myself and your respected selves, at least, let's spread awareness and be ready when Allah wills that something will happen and should happen. Some of us will be ready to be part of this new change, inshallah, in the world. How this will happen, we need to be ready. First step, to know. Awareness, acceptance. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam stayed with a number very limited of Sahaba for 13 years. 13 years. He was preparing them on the base of faith. Not anything else. Because you need it. Later, you will need it. Now, in light of what happens there, you can witness that the most important pillar of their resistance and their power is their faith. They believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One of very interesting and what could be mind-blowing things, just a few weeks ago I was doing some kind of quick research for one of my lectures. So I was shocked when I knew the following. I was searching for the highest rate of suicide committed on earth according to the United Nations. From the top 10, I can tell you that Russia and South Korea, they are from the top 10. But I was shocked with the least 4 countries on earth with suicide committed. The least. On top of them, Afghanistan, Syria and Iraq. What? But Sheikh, the highest rate of murdering and killing, yes, they are killed by an external element. I'm talking about suicide. I'm talking about a decision of someone who decides to end up his life by his decision. Lowest on earth, in the areas where are the most unstable places on planet Earth, Afghanistan, Syria and Iraq. Unstable, yet lowest rates according to the United Nations in suicide committed. What? But mathematically, I'm talking about myself now, I personally, I think if I was not a believer and I'm just dealing with my existence as a non-believer who believes that we came out of nothingness by the law of coincidence and I don't know where I will go, I have no idea about who is behind my existence, I have no purpose of life, I'm assuming understanding my mentality, most likely if I was in Gaza or in Iraq and Syria, I could have killed myself long time ago. Long time ago. Why to suffer? Simple mathematical question. Why? Why to stay here? Why to keep witnessing all of these kind of disasters? Just end, khalas. Finish. Close the file. Here comes the faith. In our faith, the story has not been finished. Still, from day one, وَبِعِزَّتِكَ لَأُغْوِيَنَّهُمْ, there's a fight between haqq and batil, truth and falsehood, always. What happens in Gaza is just simple small round of the big conflict of haqq and batil. We are not a unique phenomena in our existence. Nuh alayhi salam, 950 years, كلما مر عليه قومه, they used to mock him, to make fun of him. Hey, Noah, you are making a ship, you the water, ha ha ha. وَأَنِّي كُلَّمَا دَعَوْتُهُمْ جَعَلُوا أَصَابِعَهُمْ فِي آذَانِهِمْ وَاسْتَغْشَوْا ثِيَابَهُمْ وَأَصَرُّوا وَاسْتَكْبَرُوا. They were very arrogant. Musa alayhi salam with Fir'aun, Salih, Hud, all of them. So, even after becoming Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Mughals, what did they do with Muslims? The Crusaders, 200 years, 8 campaigns in one day, one battle. European Christian Crusaders, when they attacked Jerusalem, more than 500-600 years ago, according to their historical resources, their historians, they killed in one day 70,000 Muslims in Jerusalem. In one day. With the hand power of man. Not mass destruction, what it was like now. No machine guns. In our calculations, as if they have killed 7 million. So, we are not living in new phenomena. Okay, Sheikh, thank you. Good that you told us this. What's next? What's next? Be ready. Because this is not the end of the story. We are at a big test. One of the most important reasons for our existence, it's not my words, I'm just quoting Allah, your creator and my creator, where he said, الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم. He is the one who created life and death so that to put you into trial. We are in a big test hall. Big. We are in a test continuously till the angel of death is seen directly by me. فَكَشَفْنَا عَنْكَ غِطَاءَكَ فَبَصَرَ. At that moment, the test is end. Finished. خلاص. Have submitted my paper. Yeah. The beginning of the Akhirah. First stage is نعيم or عذاب القبر. The barzakh, the barrier. Waiting for the day of judgment. The resurrection congregation, then eternal life. Either or. Jahannam or Al-Jannah. May Allah let all of you, including myself with you, to be from the people of the Jannah. However, we need to pass the test. Now we are in part of the tests. My title, basically, the importance of Allah in our existence. To what degree we need Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We can see an example how, because they established this strongly, they are able to resist. It's not the end of the story, by the way. Any one of us, we need to see. Unfortunately, I have to quote this history. Muslims, they were in Andalus, which now is called Spain, for 800 years. Now you can't find one village with 40 houses. They are from direct descent to be proven from Muslims. 800 years. Do you know? Not 70. 8 centuries. They were in Spain. Now, finito. Did it happen? Yes. Is it a reality? Yes. What happened to them? Go ask Mr. Google. They were forced to change their religion. Many of them, they were tortured. Go and read about the Inquisitions. Go and see now the museums that still they have the torturing tools. Anyway, the big context that I'm trying to bring myself and my respective others to, I want to share with you simple experience about the importance of Allah in our life, in light of what happened to our oppressed brothers and sisters. Jeffrey Lang, and I urge you to go on and listen to him on the YouTube and to read some of his books. Jeffrey Lang is a university professor of mathematics in Kansas. He reverted to Islam a few years ago when he was a professor of mathematics. Now, after he converted to Islam, he wrote many books. One of the most well-known books, it is the book of Even Angels Ask. He was referring to قول الله تعالى وإذ قال ربك للملائكة إني جاعل في الأرض خليفة. Mentioned, remember, behold, when your Lord told the angels started asking, أتجعل فيها من يفسد. He was shocked with this reality, this fact from the ghaib. How come Allah was allowing the angels to ask? Why, Ya Allah? How come? So from this, he was shocked and started researching Islam. At the end, he accepted Islam. So today, now, in the coming 20 or 18 minutes that I have, I will be reading exactly, literally, part of his article that he wrote about his first prayer in his life. Note that he was not a normal, any person, a layman. He was a professor in mathematics. Mathematics means logic. Logic. So he became a Muslim, a professor, university professor. He's describing, I want you to go with me in this journey, and I need from his article the last paragraph, that's it. But if I highlighted the last paragraph now, without you with me, understanding the context before the last paragraph, no one will appreciate the word and the meaning. So I need to go with you with this quick journey. I will be quoting literally his words. He says, I stood in the middle of the room, facing what I thought was the direction of the Qibla. I looked back to make sure I had closed the door to my apartment. Then I went forward, straightened my stance, took a deep breath, then raised my hands with open palms, touching my earlobes with my thumbs. Then I said in a faint voice, God is great, which is Allahu Akbar. I was hoping that no one would hear me because I was feeling a little emotional, as I could not get rid of my anxiety that someone was spying on me. First time in his life, will do a rak'ah for Allah. He's not a young man. He's not just excited as a new experiment. No. He's a well-established person, adults, university professor. He will be bowing and prostrating for his time in his life now. Try to see the inner psychology of a previous non-believer now. He says, suddenly I realized that I had left the curtains open and I wondered, what if a neighbor saw me? I left what I was in. I went to the window, then looked outside to make sure no one was there. When I saw the backyard empty, I felt relieved. So I closed the curtains and returned to the middle of the room. Once again, I faced the Qibla, straightened my stance, and I raised my hands until my thumbs touched my earlobes. Then I whispered, God is great, Allahu Akbar, in a low voice that could barely be heard. I read the opening of the book slowly and stammering, then followed it with a short surah in Arabic. Although I thought that any Arab would not have understood anything if he had heard me my recitation that night. Then, after that, I uttered the takbir again in a low voice and bent down and kneeled until my back was perpendicular to my legs. Placing my palms on my knees, I felt embarrassed, as I had never bowed down to anyone in my life. Just on the side, try to double-click a file in my and your feelings about the blessings that we have in our relation with Allah. When someone does not know his Creator, how difficult it's for him to start bowing down, to see the ni'mah for the fact that you've been raised in a Muslim house. The ni'mah that coming to the sujood is something by default part of your life. Because what stops many people from doing it is arrogance. It was the disease of Iblis. What was the problem of Iblis? Was it knowledge? Was it the IQ? Was it the ghaib? No. Everything was clear for him. It was an eyewitness. Clear. That arrogance. To appreciate the ni'mah that we have. He said, I felt embarrassed as I had never bowed down to anyone in my life. I was therefore pleased because I was alone in the room. While I was still kneeling, I repeated the phrase, "Glory be to the Lord the Great," several times. Subhana Rabbiyal Azim. Then I stood up and read, "God hears those who praise Him. Sami Allahu liman hamida." Then our Lord, praise be to you. Sami Allahu liman hamida. Rabbana lakal hamd. Now he continues. I felt my heart beating hard, and my excitement increased as I said submissively once again that it was time to prostrate. I froze in place as I stared at the spot in front of me where I had to fall on all fours and put my face on the ground. I couldn't do it. I couldn't. It was not easy for me. I will put my forehead and nose on the ground now. It's not easy. I couldn't do it. I couldn't bring myself to the ground. I could not humiliate myself by putting my nose to the ground like a slave who grovels before his master. I imagined that my legs were tied and unable to bend. I felt so much shame and disgrace. I imagined the laughter of my friends and acquaintances as they watched me make a fool of myself in front of them. And I imagined how much I would attract pity and ridicule among them. And I could almost hear them saying, "Poor Jeffrey. The Arabs hurt him in San Francisco." I was imagining that anyone would see him, they say, "Arabs made him crazy. He lost his mind. He's doing these funny actions for an unseen God. Ha ha ha." You know, it's not easy. It's not easy bullying, the peer pressure. It's not easy making fun of you. It's not easy. Anyone experienced this knows that it's not easy. It kills. It destroys. And ask your kids in public schools about this. It kills. He continues. Didn't that? I started praying, please, asking Allah now, please help me with this. I could take a deep breath and forced myself down. Now I was on all fours. Then I hesitated for a few moments, and then I pressed my face to the carpet. I emptied my mind of all thoughts and uttered the phrase, "Glory be to my Lord the Most High." Subhana Rabbiyal A'la. 3 times. God is great, I said, and rose from the prostration, sitting on my heels, keeping my mind blank, refusing to allow anything to distract my attention. Allahu Akbar. And I put my face on the ground again. While my nose was touching the ground, I started repeating the phrase, "Glory be to my Lord the Most High." Subhana Rabbil A'la. Automatically. I was determined to end this matter, no matter what the cost. God the Great. And I stood up. I said to myself, there are still 3 rounds ahead of me. You know, he's a battle. He was in a fight. This is the first rak'ah, first round. Still 3 rounds. I'm quoting the first time when Jeffrey Lang, the professor of mathematics, reverted to Islam, explaining his first experience with prayer to do ruku' and sujood for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the United States. He said, but it became easier with each round until I was almost completely calm at the end of the prostration. Then I recited the tashahhud in the last sitting, and finally I said salam to my right, my left. As I became extremely exhausted, I remained sitting on the ground and began to review the battle I had been through. I felt embarrassed because I had to fight myself so much in order to perform the prayer until the end. With my head lowered in shame, I called out, "Forgive me for my arrogance and my stupidity, for I have come from a far place and I still have a long way to go." He's, apologizing from Allah. "Ya Allah, I came from a far place. I don't know. I'm an ignorant. I don't know." Just try to appreciate the ni'mah that you have. compared with this his first experience, even though this is not what I needed from the story. The last paragraph now. At that moment, I felt something that I had never experienced before, and therefore it is difficult to me to describe it in words. A wave that I can only describe as a coldness swept over me, and it seemed to me that it was radiating from a point in my chest. It was a huge wave that surprised me at first. I even remember that I was shaking. However, it was more than just a physical feeling. It affected my emotions in a strange way as well. It seemed as if mercy had become embodied in a tangible form and had begun to envelop and penetrate me. Then I started crying without knowing why. Tears started streaming down my face, and I found myself sobbing hard. The more I cried, the more I felt that supernatural force of kindness and compassion was embracing me. I was not crying out of guilt, although I should have been, nor out of shame or pleasure. It was as if a dam had opened, unleashing a great reservoir of fear and anger within me. As I write these lines, he says, Jeffrey Lang, I cannot help but wonder whether God's almighty forgiveness does not merely include pardoning sins, but also healing and tranquility as well. Now, finally, he finished with the following statement that because of it, I decided to make the whole khutbah. The title of the khutbah, our need for the existence of Allah in our life, especially in light of what happens now. This is a journey for a university professor in mathematics in his first salah, first ruku' and sujood. After he experienced what you have listened to now with his exact direct words, look what he said. The most important thing I realized at that time was that I was in dire need of God and prayer. Before I got up, I prayed this last prayer. His words, I'm quoting him. Oh God, if I dare to disbelieve in you again, kill me before that. If I dare to disbelieve you, to reject you, to be arrogant with you, again, kill me before that. Save me from this life. It's very difficult to live with all my shortcomings and faults, but I cannot live another day denying your existence. End the quotes. Now, his words is finished. What is the lesson behind this? أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم فيا فوز المستغفرين. إن الحمد لله نحمده سبحانه ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا. Respected brothers and sisters, in the few minutes before I start the dua, why I'm quoting this experience? This was very important. He discovered as a newcomer to this religion that I can manage with a lot of shortcomings. I can't manage while I'm rejecting you, Ya Allah. I can't manage. And he used, if I dare to disbelieve in you. As a mathematician professor, he realized that disbelief is an attitude and a decision. It's not a knowledge. He realized the core meaning of Islam. If I dare to, but how you will dare after you knew God? Who told you that everyone knows God, accepted God? Who told you that everyone understands for sure what is the will of Allah, is listening to Allah? Who said so? We return back to very important distinguishing system in Islam. Mu'min wa kafir. Who's the kafir? The rejecter, not the ignorant. The one who knew and refused. The one who knew and rejected. He was talking about himself. If I dare to disbelieve, This belief has nothing to do with ignorance now. I know you, but I decided to to discredit you, to close your authority against me. I don't admit that you have authority upon me. This is Islam. What is Islam? Do you think Islam is just to know Allah? No, by the way, maybe a surprising news for some. Abu Jahl knew Allah, Abu Lahab knew Allah, Fir'aun knew Allah. It's not a knowledge, it's submission. That's why I keep always repeating, Allah decided to call our religion Islam, not Iman. By the way, many atheists, they know Allah. Uqsim billah that they know it. You know why? They claim they are atheists, which means they deny the existence of Allah, but 24/7 they keep talking about Him. Imagine logic, I'm speaking logic now. You deny something. Why you keep talking about it? Why you keep attacking it? You deny its existence. You keep making fun of Him. Why? You attack Him. Why? You know why? Because in their inner nature, they know that He does exist. But they don't want to accept this reality. This is the rejection. That's why. Imagine you and me, for example. If someone came to me and say, hey, the big ears, great huge aliens in March will come and punish you, Amjad. If you do not such and such. I said, ooh, I'm so scary. I will make fun of him. Say, you will see, they will do such and such for you. They will take it to the hellfire in March. I will keep laughing. Do you think I will keep talking about them because I'm afraid of them? I don't believe in them. Simply, I will just close their fire. It's a very silly myth for me. I don't believe in the existence of the green aliens who come in a spaceship and they will take me to punish me in my... I don't believe. Why to waste my time talking about it? Why to keep quoting every time wherever I go? Unless I have the fear and the possibility or the assurance that they do exist. And they open it. That's why I'm thinking all the time. I'm seeking some kind of security, of support, or understanding, or protection. If I really make fun of them, I will ignore them. Why to waste 1 minute of my time? I'm giving you an example of people who claim that they don't believe in God. But wallahi, Allah is forcing them by fitrah to know that He does exist. But our point now, my point that I'm trying to reach, in light of قول الله تعالى in chapter Al-Baqarah, Surah Al-Baqarah, إن الذين يكتمون look now ما أنزلنا من البينات والهدى من بعد ما بيناه للناس في الكتاب أولئك يلعنهم الله ويلعنهم اللاعنون. Those who hide the clear proofs and evidences that we have sent in the book. One of the genius aspects of the divine revelation, i.e. Al-Quran, that Allah is using inna alladhina, the pronoun those who. This will be applicable on everyone who is eligible to be part of this. Past, present, and the future. Anyone who knows the truth, a politician, a mathematician, scientist, rich person, alim, religious, Christian, Jew, non-believer, Muslim, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَكْتُمُونَ, those who hide the clear proofs. Ya Allah, so some people, they are aware that this proof is a proof, yes, but they hide it. Don't we witness this now? Yes or no? Definitely. Proofs are clear. Close your eye. Do you think Mr. Fir'aun was not aware that he is not God? Do you think Fir'aun was not aware that he himself is not a creator? Just when he goes to the washroom, to the toilets, was he unaware that he is not God? He was aware. If he's God, just give a commandment to live without need to go to the washroom. Why to sweat? Why to urinate? He knows, but he rejects. By this, that's why Allah will be Allah is cursing them. وَيَلْعَنُهُمْ اللَّاعِنُونَ. Okay, what is the lesson that we finish? Keep your faith. Strengthen your faith. Do your best to support. Believe in the power of Allah. And our story has not been finished yet. We are not at the end. It's part of the test. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فيا فوز المستغفرين. اللهم تقبل شهداءهم وداوي جرحاهم واشف مرضاهم يا رب العالمين، وانتقم ممن خذلهم وطعنهم وخانهم يا رب العالمين. اللهم انا عبيدك ابناء عبيدك ابناء امائك نواصينا بيدك ماض فينا حكمك عدل فينا قضاؤك. نسألك بكل اسم هو لك سميت به نفسك وأنزلته في كتابك أو علمته أحدا من خلقك أو استأثرت به في علم الغيب عندك أن تجعل القرآن العظيم ربيع قلوبنا وجلاء أحزاننا وذهاب همومنا وغمومنا يا رب العالمين. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. وأقم الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر.